back to my channel. In today's Learn to Crochet series, part 3, we are going to cover what is known in the US as the half double crochet stitch and what is known in the UK as the half treble crochet stitch. They have different names, but they're done in exactly the same way. So let's quickly run through the equipment that you will need in order to do this stitch. For today's tutorial, I'm going to use an acrylic mixed yarn. This could be a double knit yarn or an Aran knit yarn. We're going to use a 5mm hook and something to use as a stitch marker. It can be a hair grip, a piece of yarn in a contrasting colour, a paper clip, or you can actually buy stitch markers from your local yarn supplier or online. So let's get started. So we're going to do a recap. I covered this in part 1 of the series and I'll insert the link below. We need to make a slip knot and the method I use is the wrap around the finger method. So 2 times around the finger, take the loop closest to your hand, over the first loop and take the other loop over and off the finger, and then very gently pull down on both ends. And there you have your slip knot. Then we insert the hook, very gently tighten it, keep it nice and loose. So for this tutorial, I recommend that you chain 18. So we'll go ahead. So yarn over, twist and grab, pull through. There we have the first chain. Yarn over, twist and grab the loop, pull through. There we have the second chain. Yarn over, twist and grab the loop. So go ahead and chain your 18 stitches and I'll meet you at the end of the chain. The first stitch will be in the 3rd chain from the hook. So if we look at the V's, we have 1 V here, 2nd V, the 3rd V. So that's the 3rd chain from the hook. And you can just slightly stretch the yarn out and then you can see there's a hole there. So the difference between the single crochet and the half double is before we insert the hook into the chain, we have to yarn over. So we yarn over from the front and we yarn over from behind the stitch. So go ahead and do that. Yarn over, you make this grabbing motion, and I'm going to insert the hook into this 3rd chain. And when you're learning to crochet, don't worry if you put it under the 2 or 1 loop. It's totally fine for the foundation. So insert the hook, and then as I said, we're going to yarn over. So grab and pull up through that loop. And now you see we have 3 chains on our hook, and now we can yarn over and make the first stitch. So yarn over, grab, and you can pull your work down a little bit just to make the holes a little bit wider. And then you're going to pull the whole piece of yarn through the 3 chains. Now, as I mentioned earlier, and in the Learn to Single Crochet video, I always insert a stitch marker in the very first stitch that I make. So go ahead and do that now. And I'm going to use this one. And I just find the V shape and I insert the marker directly under that V shape. And now I know that when I turn my work later, this is the very first stitch I did. So let's go ahead and then we look for the 2nd chain. So we've just crocheted into this stitch. You can see there's some stitches in there, and then we just gently pull, and then this is the next chain. So again, yarn over first. So yarn over, rotate and grab, and now we want to insert the hook through that chain. You keep your work nice and loose. Yarn over and grab, and then pull through a loop. And now you see we have the 3 chains on our hook, and then yarn over one last time, twist and grab, and then pull through all 3. And now you see we have 2 stitches on the hook. We do that again, find the next chain. So you can see we've already chained into this stitch. You can see in the circle of the chain, we have a stitch in there. So find the next one, which is here. So yarn over, twist and grab, and then insert the hook into that first chain. And then again, that twist and grab motion, yarn over, pull through 1 loop. Now you see we have the 3, yarn over, grab the yarn, pull through 3. And now you can see we have 1, 2, 3 stitches done. So let's keep going. I'll show you a few more, hopefully a bit slower. So find the next chain along. So I'm going to yarn over first, insert into the next chain, keep the work nice and loose, grab the yarn, pull it through, and then we have the 3, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches complete. Do one more, find the next hole, which is here. You can see we've already made a stitch in the previous one. So yarn over, insert the hook into the chain, make this twisting motion, grab, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3. So go ahead to the end of the row, and I'll meet you at the end, and then I'll show you how we complete the row and then move up to the next one. So you see I'm almost at the end. Here is the tail from the beginning, and then I have one last hole. You can see I've crocheted into this previous chain. So again, yarn over, insert the hook into that final chain, yarn over one more time and pull it through, pull up the 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and then pull through all 3. And there you've completed your first row of half double crochets in US terms. So in order to get to the next row, we have to chain up. Now with the single crochet, we chain 1. For the half double, we need to chain 2. So let's do that now. So yarn over, chain 1, yarn over, chain 2. Now in this case, this does not count as the first stitch. When you're following a pattern, you need to pay attention that if they tell you to chain 4, then that will count as the first stitch, then that impacts where you're going to place the next stitch along in the row. But for our tutorial, we're always going to stitch in the very first stitch of the row. So now we've chained 2, you can turn your work and you can see there is the chain 2, and then we look for the very next stitch, and if we turn the work slightly you can see this V, and then we have to insert the hook directly under the V, not in any of the holes, directly under the V. So again we do the yarn over and then we insert the hook into this very first V or this first stitch, yarn over, pull through a loop, and now we have 3 chains on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. And at this point you should now insert your stitch marker. So if we twist the work slightly, you can see the V, and that's our very first stitch. Take another stitch marker, find the V, which is here, and I'm going to leave this open, it won't fall out. And now we can carry on with the next stitch. And then we look for the next V along. You can twist the work and clearly see the V, and we need to crochet under that V. So yarn over, insert the hook under the V, pull up a loop, 3 on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. And then you can see we have 2 V's, 2 stitches. One more time, look for the next V, just pull your work slightly and then yarn over, insert your hook under that V, the next stitch, yarn over, pull up, you have 3 loops, yarn over, pull through. Now we have 1, 2, 3. So go ahead and keep crocheting, and I'll meet you at this very first stitch marker that we did from the previous row. So we're almost coming to the end of the row, and as you can see I have 2 V's left, so 2 stitches left. So go ahead and crochet into the very next stitch, yarn over, insert under the V, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 stitches, and now we have the very last stitch. So at this point we can go ahead and remove the stitch marker, look for the V and perform the last stitch into there. And remember, this last stitch is often a little bit tighter So you might have to sort of jam the hook in a bit, but it's definitely there. And there we've completed row 2 of our half double crochet. So if you recall, in order to get to the next row, we're going to chain 2. So 1, 2, and then we turn our work, and here you can see the 2 chains we've just performed, and this is the very next V, which is what we need to put our first stitch into. So yarn over, straight under that V, yarn over, pull up a loop, so we have 3, yarn over, pull through all 3, and you can see my yarn is separating a little bit, so you might have to just work that a bit. And then you can see this very first V is the first half double that we've made. So then go ahead and insert your stitch marker into that, so you know when you get to the very end, that's where you stop. So that was the US half double or the UK half treble. So keep practicing, and thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and if you turn on the notification bell, I think it's in the top right hand corner, then you'll get a notification when I post the next tutorial, and look forward to seeing you in the next vlog. Bye.